is back on the escalator again.
Leave it alone. What?
Comics.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
TV and movies. Wrestling. Music.
We are just getting started!
Finally, a podcast about things you actually care about, hosted by a couple of guys who actually care about those things too.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Maybe a little too much.
Yes, that's awesome.
The talented one, Chris Machete.
That no-talent ass clown became famous.
And Brenton, you know, that guy from your other favorite podcast.
I liked it. I was good at it.
So grab onto the handrail and don't let go.
Get ready! There's a little boy caught the escalator!
This is the Kids on the Escalator podcast.
Woo!
Here's CM and BD.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
Yeah. What's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good, buddy. How are you doing?
I'm good. Hanging
Cool.
out in Sweden. This is one of my favorite cities in the whole
Nice.
world, in the world of worlds. This is a great one. It's very Canadian, very hockey friendly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they got. I've watched a Swedish Elite League game here. The Sedins are from here, and Matt Sundin from here, and Borja Salming from here. So many great guys. So
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I love it here. It's really cool. It's it's the most Canadian feeling city that in Europe. I
And
think
apparently Swedish metal is pretty horrifying as well.
that Swedish death metal.
Yeah, right?
You know what I mean? That's a whole thing.
Oh,
Yeah, it's crazy.
Coolness.
But yeah,
Coolness.
it's also boiling hot for once, which I haven't been
Oh.
in a couple of weeks. I've been delayed. Now, yeah. It's a whole thing. I'm here because
you've been living in an airport.
I've been living in an airport, man.
Living in an airport.
And it never ends. It's funny though, because the when I tweeted those pics of the airport and the troubles in the airport, my inbox is all like press, like the Japan press.
Right.
It's like, we're from this Japanese news agency. We want to run an article about Heathrow, and I'm like, go ahead, use my picture. Hey, we just noticed you were stuck in Edinburgh. Can we use your Can
they
we
pay you
use
for that?
I don't believe they do. But
Tell them no then. Say no. Give me a beer anyway.
well, by the time they reach out, it's done. It's like the news cycle's done. It's old
They
news.
can send money like that.
Yeah, it's old news.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, it's old news when it comes to that. But it's just crazy. It's
And I'm still in Kingston. You should see the trouble I have going from the upstairs to the downstairs.
I was gonna say, I think of you every time I'm delayed.
Lots of cats in the way, and I got one. One of my cats. Yeah, we got 3 cats here. One of my cats poops in the bathtub.
Like that's his thing or her thing.
Her thing is she poops in the bathtub. If I could just get her to move like a foot to the
Exclusively?
right, yeah, she just poops in the bathtub. That's where she poops. She won't poop anywhere else. But if I could just get her to move a foot to the right, I think we'd be in business because the toilet's right there, right? But no, she poops in the bathtub.
I had, it's funny when we had our cat. We made the mistake when we first got him that we didn't have all the stuff yet. We didn't have the kitty litter and
That's
shit
a
tray.
major mistake, right?
Well,
there.
it was like the next day. Like we got it and it was getting it, and I was like,
you
okay.
need that
and,
the day before you get a cat, my friend.
it just kind of happened. So it was like, all right, for tonight, we'll let him, go in a shoebox, and do the whole thing. And from that point on, if there's an empty box anywhere in the house, it's so funny. If there's an empty box anywhere in the house,
get a treat.
Piss, which is worse than poop.
Yeah. Oh, I know. No,
You know
it is the worst. So I got one cat I got, the boy cat, he, those little trays that you put down for your boots, the plastic ones from when you get out of the snow. I have one cat that will only pee in that.
And aren't they crazy?
So it sits downstairs in the basement, and I go down there, and it's full, and you have to pick it up and dump it into the the laundry sink, wash it out, set it back down for him. He'll pee in there. If not, he'll pee on the floor.
They're the weirdest things.
Oh, man. And I got another cat, and she's okay. She's normal. That's Taylor's cat. But that cat was been here since it was little. The other 2 cats we've adopted when they were been through shit.
You've acquired cats.
Saved them. Rescue animals.
That's right. That's right. Busy over there in Kingston, though. Boiling hot, like over here.
Are you saying hi to me?
You know what? We have the chat. The chat's
Rack shit, Rohan.
Little
right
bit.
on. Is this going to be one of those ones that tells me off after I say hi?
I don't know. Hey, Chris. So somebody that you know, but our
Okay.
chat's been,
Because sometimes they say that and then they start calling us names. Actually, it's only
Yeah.
happened once. It was
I
pretty
feel
funny.
like they're in other
There's only
countries, but yeah. So Obi-Wan is all
What's up, buddy?
done,
Yeah,
and
that's great.
there's going to be a break now of said Star Wars stuff. I think for a while. I think it's the Mandalorian will be next. Yeah, I
Mhm.
think. I think the Mandalorian. That's like a November thing for the Mandalorian. So we got a ways to wait, and in that time, The Boys, which
Mm.
we launched this show with, actually.
All
Uh,
right. Okay.
The
Yeah.
boy,
Yeah.
the first episode we ever did was, well, I think it was us, yattering on, but then from there it was like, oh, wait,
Nice.
hold,
Nice.
stand by. We got a big fan of your guitar tutorials. They're amazing.
Oh, thank you, my friend. Well, thank you for taking them, for jumping in there. Yeah, free guitar lessons, right? Good. Hey, buddy, I'm glad that it worked out for you. That's really cool.
And
Keep
I would
jamming,
highly
right?
recommend it, man. I would highly recommend anyone that's learning how to play guitar for the first time. Chris breaks it down perfectly, to even a dum dum like me to like try to pull out a few chords, and I've been able to pull out a few chords now because of it. So there we go.
Yeah. Yeah, party on, brother. Thanks.
And thanks for watching the show, dude. That's awesome. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we, so The Boys, we kicked it off with The Boys, and then
Mhm.
they took a break, and then the COVID thing. This is our 70th episode, which is pretty cool.
Wow.
Getting there. We're creeping up toward
Yeah, that's all right.
and The Boys are back. And I've been watching along because I've been touring and I've been able to check it out. I got a day off or two, but you've been slammed doing commissions, doing stuff, trying to get caught up in Obi-Wan, watching horror movies, watching gangster movies, you name it, all that stuff. So we haven't had a chance to actually talk about The Boys this season yet. And
Mhm.
so they've already got 6 episodes done.
Yeah.
So we
I
thought,
binged 5 of them today while
there
I
you
was
go.
working on a Scarlet Witch drawing.
So, it's not without its controversy, but wow, what a cool season this is right now. Um, well, first and foremost, let me get your thoughts on, because you're the boys expert that calls through I've got some boys stuff, but you kind of know where the story's going. You called, the arrival of Soldier Boy and a few other things that were coming. So, what are your first thoughts right now on this season?
Well, it's really cool. Well, first of all, I want to point out, as we were discussing last time, this is created by a famous comic book artist, Garth Ennis. Now, you're going to notice that the boys. It's funny because there's people that I've talked to who are just experiencing the boys for the first time. They're like, "Oh my
Yep.
gosh, this stuff is messed."
Yep.
It's like, yeah, so they kind of watched a few episodes of season 3 and then backed up and started watching from the beginning, of course, right? So Garth Ennis is the creator of this, and it came from a comic book, directly from a comic book. He is known for flipping the tables on what is the norm in comic books. He's had some really good runs where he's written The Punisher. He's had some good runs with Batman. He's got a new Batman storyline out right now. If you're a big fan of this kind of storytelling, you like Batman, wow, you're going to really like the new Batman storyline. So you should go to the comic store and buy it, man. But Garth Ennis has always done twisted stuff like this. So when he wrote this, everybody's like, "Holy cow!" Like, as the comic book community, it wasn't as like, "Whoa, this is some mind blowing stuff." It was just more like, "Yep, there's Garth Ennis's new twist on superheroes," and what a twist it is! It brings the scope of reality into things, which it makes it obviously makes it more adult. When you think of superheroes being created by the government and run by the government, because we all know that the government is very, very scummy and as always has been, full of secrets, full of control. So imagine them having superheroes at their fingertips, right? So after going through, if you haven't seen season 1 and 2, I'm not going to bring you up to speed. You're going to have to go back and watch those. And sorry for the spoilers, but so Homelander, who's like your bizarro Superman, right? He's got all the powers of Superman basically, but he's a bag of douche. He needs, like, he gets an erection when people tell him how great he is. That's what excites him, is him being loved, and all his whole motivation is the point ratings online of how he's being accepted by the world, by people out there, whether they're liking his posts or whatever. So that's how he basically judges everything. So,
and I'd like to point out for the record that he's the strongest character up until Soldier Boy by design, but with his actions, he's actually the weakest.
Mm-hmm.
He's just such a weak little man. Like, you know what I mean? He's so like insecure and everything.
See, this is another scenario where if people say, "Oh yeah, Batman couldn't beat this guy," yeah, I bet you could. I bet you could, because he would. Lonnie and I were discussing this. My wife, she watches a lot of comic stuff with me, and we were discussing some pretty powerful people. It was Scarlet Witch, I think, from Doctor Strange. And he's like, "Well, how do you beat her?" And it's like, ah, ha, 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 her kids. Like it's like you got, you can't go power to power with somebody. Like if you're a little guy going against a big guy, you got to be smart, right? You got to, you stay away, and then you hopefully can get in there for the sleeper hold or something, right? Same with villains. You have to find their weakness, and his weakness is his vanity, right? Like I bet you Batman could take him out.
That's an interesting one. I'm not sure I'm with you on that, but the only reason I say that is because if he is like Superman,
right? Well, he knows how to take Superman out, right?
I guess so. I guess so. Yeah,
he found a way, and it's not kryptonite, but Batman would find a way. See, this is the thing about Batman is he would find a way, and he wouldn't sleep until he found a way.
And
that's such a good thing, because you know what I mean. If you're learning a guitar riff, you stay at it until you get it, or else you're not going to be at the top of your group of guitar players that you hang out there with.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I think that's a good question though. How would Batman beat him? And the lame answer is he would find a way. But
how do you think he would beat him?
Well, he would use his vanity against him somehow. I don't know how. Like I'm not as smart as Batman, obviously.
I like the Soldier Boy approach of like how he can suck power out of people. So I think that's the thing that obviously he's fearing the most here is he's going to lose that power, but also, he's not number one anymore. And like, he's like, I'm the new Soldier Boy. Fuck you. But he's like, but I can suck your power out of you. And I think that would be
right. So I got a question. So it's like, so as we go on here, like the one thing that was a lot different in this than is in the other ones is that a normal person can become a soup for 24 hours, basically.
Yeah.
Those little green vials.
Yeah.
And so did that for you, as a person who doesn't read, 5 comic books a day, did that bum you out?
Well, but isn't the core of the whole thing that they've all been injected their whole life?
Well, I'm just saying, but
I'm saying the
superheroes. 2 seasons, though. The first
2
seasons, we had normal humans going against superheroes, and now you got superheroes going against superheroes. So to me, like I was just because as a comic reader,
it is a thing. I'm with you on that. Yeah,
I didn't like that. It's kind of was like, I don't know. And then, to find somebody who can suck the power out of him, it's just getting a little obvious in some of the scenarios that are going on with that. I was a little let down by that.
The biggest criticism. The biggest criticism from this season right now is people don't like the fact that it's echoing kind of what's going on in the world. A little bit, like there's very much like a Trumpy kind of like a corporate power thing. That's in everything. That's
just normal.
That's just normal.
Dude.
That's in Succession. The show Succession. That's great. That's religion. I do think that I am with you. I am with you on that whole thing about the just being able to inject it. But if they have,
I just lost the fact of the humans, like the fact that they had no powers at all, and these dudes, well, one girl, and they were going to take them all out. How are they going to do this? That was the thing that I had where I was like, okay, storytell. You know what I mean? Let's hear it. So now it just kind of takes a little bit out of it for me. Oh, I lost for a second there, I think. So I'll just keep talking. But I think that now that Huey and Butcher do have powers, though, you can tell how much they like it, which is another funny angle on that whole deal that I found. Because you relate it to like having getting drunk for the first time. Wow, I'm only gonna get drunk once, I gotta get drunk again. But it happens, and then they get addicted to it, and they want more and more and more. So my thoughts are they're going to be stuck addicted to it. But the fact that they have to take him out at this point, take Homelander out at this point, and they've realized all they can do is take the stuff themselves, and they tried to find something that killed somebody like him in the past, but instead they didn't. They found the actual item, the gentleman there. So that's going to be a big face-off coming up soon. Definitely. You back there?
Yeah, we were like we got the shitter net from Sweden, so I apologize. I don't know what happened there. You can hear me okay?
Oh yeah, we're all good. You're back. Yeah, all good. No, I was just saying about them not having, like, they're gonna have, it's like the chips are down. It's like, okay, we got to take Homelander out now. So there's no other way we can do this other than juice up. And so, as I mentioned, they tried to find something to kill him with that they thought killed the other guy. Like him, Soldier Boy is his name, right?
Yeah.
And they couldn't. They found Soldier Boy instead. So they're going to bring him in. And he's kind of a douchey guy to begin with, too. And Mother's Milk doesn't like him. There he is there.
It was funny. I wasn't expecting him to be such a douche, but I'd have to look at the comic and sort of see what it's about, because it's funny because there's like a bit of an alliance that they take with Homelander as sort of like, hey, we're with you now, or so, and then that changes, and then we get into Herogasm, and it's a whole mess. But it's funny because you were hyping the Herogasm thing from.
I haven't watched that yet. I haven't seen that one yet.
That's in episode 5. I thought you just watched it.
6.
Oh, it's 6.
It's 6.
Oh, you haven't watched it yet.
No, you said we were gonna do up to 5, so I stopped there.
Fuck! I thought it was in number. Yeah, it's in number 6, but yeah,
it's number 6, so I haven't watched that yet.
Okay, there we go. Well,
but Homelander's off the rails now, though. But the cool thing is in the storyline is that off the beginning, he was kissing everybody's ass and he's losing his shit, and it's like, man, what? But then he stands up for himself, and everybody likes it. Everybody in the world's like, yeah, that's it, man. This guy doesn't take any shit.
Yeah.
So now he's back on top, and he's telling everybody what to do. Oh man, he made the fish dude. What's the fish guy's name again?
Yeah, Deep.
The Deep. He made the Deep eat this little octopus, and he's like, man, that's Matt or Mike or somebody, right?
Yeah, I know. And he's looking at him, and he's like,
he's asking me not to kill him. We're praying. Oh, that was really sad, man. That was really bad.
Well, he's just, I mean, how do you create like
just showing
such an awful villain, right? He's such because, you know, the one thing is he's taken over Vought, and he's clearly hates the position because like part of it is like, whatever, I'm the leader, but then everyone's bringing their shit to him, right? And he's like, I'm fucking tired of this. And they sit around and guys are coming up to him and complaining. And at one point, it's like every single time someone comes up to him to complain about something or give him something, he like listens, like, okay, what do you got? Tell me what you got. And then fucks them. like, you know what I mean? He's like, he listens and then he goes, it sends him off to do something. Or he's like, yes, Deep, you're welcome back into the 7, but you got to eat your friend. Like he's there's just no redeeming quality to him whatsoever.
No, there is not. And then A-Train too, man. What a dick. And then he gets his, and then like, oh man. So we're bringing the racial, stuff in here of where one of the heroes. Do you have a clip of it or something? Or?
I don't of that one.
So one of the white heroes is focusing on black neighborhoods because he says that's where all the crime is.
Yeah.
And there was one scenario where he curb stomped a guy, and the guy wasn't armed. He wasn't really a bad guy. So A-Train, the fast dude, also a black dude, he's starting to take this personally. And originally he was very. He wouldn't deal with anything that he felt was above him, like people that lived in Harlem or anything like that.
Sure.
And now he's starting to take a little bit of a stand. He's starting to feel something because he's losing his power, and he's starting to feel a little like, you know, he might be one of them. He might be like somebody who's not going to have powers, and he's got to start looking out for these people. So they have a confrontation, and it becomes really racial in there. That's going to be a steep one. It looks like A-Train's really going to lose his shit. And was it the blue Falcon or the Blue Hawk or something that he was the white dude? Who's and a really racist. And then the government covers it up, of course, like they would, saying that they were alt-right people or something like that, and they attacked him, and just like real life, you know, it is again, it's such an easy thing. It's not an easy thing to do, but if you create characters who have depth and are really cool and put them in situations like this, the stuff writes itself.
Sure.
So now you've got a black superhero who's just trying, you know, all right, I'm not going to fight you. I don't just come to this neighborhood and apologize to this white hero. So he comes in, he loses his shit, and he ends up messing everybody up so bad that he hurts A-Train's brother, and he can't walk again.
Yeah.
So we've left it at this point where, you know, A-Train's he's going to be pushed to do something pretty bad. But again, what would his character do in this situation? What a great, you know, my gosh. So he's about to get kicked out of the group that he's in, the superhero group.
Yeah.
He's losing his powers. You know, he tried to help his neighborhood with a bunch of his friends, and this white guy turns around and just not only bitch slaps everybody in the room, but lies about it, and the government covers his ass up. So naturally this guy's going to do something really cool. And another cool thing is that he shunned everybody that was a superhero friend.
Yeah.
So he's totally on his own because Homelander's not going to help him.
No, and it's funny because I know where it goes. I apologize. I thought Herogasm was the last episode. I think Herogasm was the last episode, but I guess I forgot to tell you to go up to Herogasm, so I apologize.
That's all
but
right. That's all
I
right.
thought we were there. But you know, I love the fact that everybody in this show has depth, like as you're talking about. There's like you're basically connected to every single person on here. I don't know if there's anything. Mother's Milk is still a little bit of a weird one because I think they're still developing him out.
Yeah.
But like Starlight and Huey, that whole thing, and you know, her kind of like, you know, this whole plan of all of them trying to take down Homelander, but like Homelander keeps finding out, like and they keep turning on each other, and then this person rats them out, and then so every single character you're connected to and have some kind of like emotional connection to. I think that like what started with the Butcher, it's funny, he seems like the least character now that I'm interested in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's weird because he started as such a strong kind of thing. But to your point about taking the Compound V and taking all that stuff and becoming a hero, he's sort of lost that invincibility that he has as a regular human now. So now he's not as interesting to me. So to your point, like he's just not quite as interesting to me.
Yep. Yeah, well, see, that's what I found too. Because I like the setups. Like as I say, like I kind of look at what's set up here. What do we got? You know, and we've got humans who have all been damaged by superheroes. And they're like, we're not going to take it anymore. We're going to take you guys down. So, yeah, it's I love that. But I guess.
But, you know, to that point, though, it's like addiction. It's like, OK, I think this is the only way I can beat him. I'm going to try it. Bam.
It is.
Holy shit. Do I ever feel amazing? And then it's like, well, I'm just going to do this all the time. And yeah, I think it's kind of an interesting one when it comes to that. It
seems like the natural progression of where the story would go, I guess, if you think about it, though, right? You know what I mean? Like it's not like some of the stuff that's way out of left field, you know, that you're like, oh wow, I didn't see that coming. Kind of saw this coming because how else are they going to take him down? But that's why I was kind of hoping it would be something super creative that I was like, oh my gosh, that's how they took. I did not see that coming.
Because they at the end of the other season, you know, with the girls and we were talking about girl power and all this stuff and all the rest of it, but no one could still beat Homelander. They're building him up as this guy, but they're building him up like a Tony Soprano.
Yeah,
Tony was hated and liked. So at one side, it was like, you know, everyone was pissed off that Tony, quote unquote, didn't get whacked, you know, and the whole family wasn't taken out in the final episode. And David Chase is like, you've been cheering on this fucking, you know, insane murdering bastard the whole time. And now you want me to kill him off just for your pleasure. They're doing the same thing with Homelander. They're making him the most hated and loved character on the show.
Right.
Well, I think it's going to ultimately come down to him and Starlight, I think, unless someone's got to go before the end of the season. I think there's going to be has to be a major death because
there should be.
There's just so much tension building. And I thought we were getting that with Kamiko.
Right.
You know, because she had her powers sucked out of her, but she didn't want them anyway. So there's just this weird kind of like.
Yeah. And then there's Maeve, right? Who already seems like she's given up.
Right. Maeve is like, you know, a bit part this season.
Well, it looks like she's going to be the one that's going to sacrifice herself, doesn't it? Like the way the story's going, it's like she's just like, you know, screw this, anything to take him down.
It's really interesting, but I think that, you know, what I'm seeing on the Homelander side is it's. I'm wondering if they're going to take this to the point where actually Soldier Boy becomes the biggest piece of trash, and they're like, wait a minute, he's actually more dangerous than Homelander, and then it all comes back around to actually. Like at the end of season 2, when everyone was like, okay, they're all on the same page. They're all getting along. They're putting the past behind them and they're just going to move on. Homelander to me is in this weird phase of like you like him and you hate him. And if he gets killed, great. But if he survives, great. I don't know. He's still got the whole storyline with his son that we got to get to. There's a whole thing there. You know? It's very how far do you know the story as far as like Homelander's end
actually just to the Herogasm, and that's as far as I've read in the books.
Yeah,
really, yeah,
interesting.
So we're winding up, and then they started other stories and stuff that I didn't really jump on. I've really cut down my new comic collecting to the ones that I collected when I was a kid. I collect Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I collect Fantastic Four, Star Wars, Darth Vader. Something else I get. Oh, Daredevil, man. Daredevil,
yeah.
as well. Yeah. So I just get the mainstays of those, and if I see something else I like, I like to save my money for the older comics.
So where does Ennis take in the Batman series then?
Oh, I haven't read it. I don't know. It's brand new.
Okay.
It's yeah, dude. So
okay, I'll try to find
it'll
it.
be interesting for sure.
I was in a comics book store today in Stockholm, but everything was in Swedish.
So that's interesting as well.
Which is cool, but it's like it doesn't help me.
No,
just look at the pictures and go for it.
He's done some rad stuff, dude. He's done some really cool stuff.
So, okay, well, what we'll do is, I am at and past the Herogasm, and I can't wait for you to watch it.
Yeah,
I can't wait to get your opinion actually about it, because you hyped that thing up like crazy. So I'm very interested to get your take on it.
I was wondering how they were going to do it, so we'll see.
So was I, and then I was like, huh.
Well, how about like that opening?
Episode. With the guy walking in the wang and
guy goes up his wang and stuff, and then he sneezes and
funniest
pops
thing I've ever seen. Wow. Oh my god! It's funny because I hadn't watched it yet, and Dean had made a comment saying, "Hey, has anyone watched? On Twitter, has anyone watched the Boys yet? Holy shit!" or something. And I was thinking that they maybe had kicked the season off with Herogasm, right? Because I was like, maybe they kicked the whole thing off, and that's how they're all getting together, and it's a whole thing, but. No, you don't get that till episode 6. So, and they did such a hype on it, like for a week straight. They're like, Herogasm's coming. People are like, what the hell is that?
Well, I'll see how with maybe the comic book was crazy. It's nuts, man.
It's funny, and what's really funny right now is there's some great, funny behind the scenes footage. Aaron Moriarty, who plays Starlight, and how about that story where he makes her his girlfriend? That's pretty funny.
Man, just rotten. Oh, they're just pulling out all the rotten stops with him.
Yeah, he's just and she's just got to suck it up, right? But her Instagram page, I started following on Instagram. It's really funny because she's got all that behind the scenes shit from Herogasm.
Wow!
And they're just having a blast, just fucking around with each other. So it's pretty funny. So
cool.
Do yourselves a favor, dive in all as far as you can on the Boys. If you haven't, it's fabulous. They've renewed it for season 4, so there's lots of space coming and lots of things coming. Preview for you. I do have a preview of what's coming up this week. If you want me to play it, or do you want me to wait?
No, I want to wait.
Okay. So, but on the flip side to that, so I have 2 things, and I guess you haven't seen them. So I'll leave it for you for now, but it's pretty funny. Well, that's not the song isn't ruining anything. The song is kind of funny. Watch this. He does a parody of when everyone was like, they do a parody of when everyone was like, we are the worlding over COVID and gun violence, and all the things that they did last year with Gal Gadot and all them, and everyone made fun of them. So they're doing it here, and they got a bunch of celebrities and check it out.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us, only sky. Imagine all the people
living for today. Ha, 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 ha.
You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one.
I hope someday you will join us.
That's great. And they're just making fun of, the top is a serious one, the bottom and there's all the jokes.
Yeah. Another point they showed how Black Noir got looking all the Black Noir, he wanted to show his face, and the guy says, all right, we'll take your helmet off, and he gets his face and he's looking at his helmet like, damn it.
Yeah.
Story writing, man. Wow.
There's so much to unpack in this thing, and I don't know how they look through it and try to decide what they're doing, but it's crazy. All right, so we named this show Kids on the Escalator Podcast after Mallrats, and we got an announcement from Kevin Smith today. Check it out.
It's me, Kevin Smith, and guess what? The Clerks 3 trailer is coming in 1 week. That's right, 7 days. The countdown has begun. Clerks 3, the trailer drops July 6, 2022. Be there.
Cool.
Now, I am stoked for Clerks 3. Let me tell you, man. I think it's going to be cool. It's such a perfectly timed, I think, just given everything that's going on. And I really want one of those, all the universes that are colliding in Marvel and Star Wars and all the rest of it. Why wouldn't Kevin have Clerks collide everything now?
Sounds great.
I think it's going to
for it. Yeah.
I think it's going to be rad, dude. I think I hope they don't, I thought after Clerks 2, they were going to wrap it up. They tied a nice little bow on it, but this is going to be interesting to see what they kind of do here with this one.
Yeah. Well, then what did Jay and Silent Bob try and stop the reboot? That was since 2 or as well, right?
Oh yeah, Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I actually watched. I watched. I'm a morning guy with movies. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
So I watched it in the morning one time, and I was like, "It's pretty good. It's pretty good." At first, his daughter was kind of. I don't know, man. There's something about her. I just couldn't get behind her. It was. I don't know.
Bad acting.
Yeah. Okay. He said. Yeah. I don't know, man. It was just like.
Yeah. She's like she's Kevin's Emily Van Camp.
Yeah. There you go.
But maybe she got better. I'm not sure. I don't know.
I hope so.
Who knows? So, anyways, that trailer's coming out next week, so that'll be cool to dive into what that's going to look like. So, pretty stoked on that. Clerks 3 coming out. I don't know when he's kind of releasing it in like 19 theaters, and then I think it's going to go to streaming. Now, speaking of streaming, did you end up watching Doctor Strange? We never got to that yet.
Yeah, I did. I watched it the other morning. I really liked it a lot.
Okay, let's go.
If you don't know what's going on in any of the Marvel universe, man, you're going to be lost.
Yeah,
right off the bat, man.
The
Holy
same,
smokes.
man. I was like, I
knew everything that was going on myself, but like there was a point where I had to say to my wife, "All right, you know what? I'm sorry, but you got to stop asking me questions because I'm watching the movie." Because she was just like, "What? Why is this? And who's that? And what happened there? And why is he dead?" Like, but it's like there's so much stuff that throw homage to Doctor Strange in the movie, which was really cool. I loved it. I loved the whole movie.
You loved it. Interesting, man.
I loved the whole movie. I thought it was great. We got to see so many little Easter eggs from the Marvel Universe. It was just ridiculous.
What did you love about it? Because Rami did it like the zombie kind of approach to it.
Which was scary. I thought that.
Had a bit of
I'm a big fan of Scarlet Witch as well. I think she's a fantastic character. We haven't even really seen her real origin. I don't think. I think they're messing around a bit there. Other thing I like it. So here's the one thing that when I talk to people about this movie, they're like, "Oh well, Scarlet Witch. She's all of a sudden she's this powerful and she's taking on everybody. Nobody can stop her." It's like, dude, nobody's getting this point. She's a mutant and a witch and a sorcerer. This is your evidence. This is your first real mutant in showing their powers and showing how strong they can be. In the comic books, she whispers, "No more mutants." And she gets rid of 98% of the mutants on Earth, right? She is so powerful. It's crazy because she has the power of Doctor Strange, basically, but she's a mutant on top of that. So it's just, nobody knows how powerful she could be. And the interesting thing that I'm waiting for too is Magneto always comes in the comic books, swoops in and daughter, when she's at her lowest, cause catastrophe. It's brilliant. Again, it's Magneto. It's his character. He has to operate the way he has to operate in the society that he's been thrown into. So
you got your wish with Richard Reed too.
Dude, well, that whole Reed Richards thing, the whole Illuminati thing with Professor Xavier when they played that the 95, 96 animated theme song when he came rolling in was brilliant. Yeah. Just so brilliant. I thought Peggy Carter as the first Avenger was great. I thought she did a great job, even with everything she was doing. She got split in half, man. It was gruesome. It was and the way she snuck up behind Professor Xavier, snapped his head. She finds the one weak guy in the whole Sorcerer Supreme clan. Run. Oh my gosh. I like Doctor Strange, but I love Scarlet Witch. I think she's a brilliant, brilliant character. And the fact that they didn't say the reason she is so powerful is because she's a mutant. They let everybody bitch and complain and chomp at the bit until they're straightened out by somebody in the know, right? But it's so funny. I so many people I've seen and talked to. When it's Scarlet Witch becomes so powerful. Well, she got the Darkhold book, dude, and plus she's a mutant. Oh, right. I forgot she was a mutant. Yeah. So she's already got powers to start with. Holy shit, man. Great character.
I gotta watch it again because I had a hard time, but only because I wasn't a Doctor Strange guy. But I just thought there was so much going on that I need to wrap my head around it again, just out of respect for the situation. But I had to just wrap my head around it again and kind of be like, all right, let me dive in, because there was, as I said, I didn't like that sidekick character that he has. The one guy,
America Chavez.
Yeah, like where they go to the island. So I just don't. I just wasn't feeling that, and there was a bit of like stuff off the beginning, and I'm like, oh my god, like. I was having a hard time with it, but it got cool and visually it was there, but I gotta watch it again. And if you say it's great, I gotta watch it again with those eyes.
I just love Scarlet Witch. She was so a lot of times I do kind of go towards the villain. I'm not cheering for the villain, but I like the villain. Excuse me. Now another one, female villain in the Marvel universe that I thought was fantastic was Hela. The goddess of death in Thor Ragnarok there, Thor 3. That was Kate Blanchett.
Oh, Kate Blanchett, yeah.
Thor's sister, right?
Yeah.
Lady Death. Oh, man, she was fantastic. And the way just the emotions with the animation on top of her, dude, she was great. If her and Scarlet Witch teamed up, man, holy crap.
There's a new Thor obviously coming that we're stoked about. So.
Yeah, it's good. I'm sure it's going to be good, but that trailer is not. I don't like the trailer at all.
You don't like the Guns N' Roses, and you don't
as soon as that song played too, it's just like a mind nail right into my head. Sweet Child of Mine, come on.
Well, you got to get the hockey players from the pub out, right?
I'm surprised anybody still likes that song, man. I wince when I hear that song now.
Well,
but that looks rough to me. Anyway, we'll see. We're supposed to have Gore the God Butcher in there, and he is like so dark and evil, and the commercials are all fluffy and bright. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But Doctor Strange thought was great because of Scarlet Witch, Wanda, Scarlet Wanda. Wanda is such a great character, and again, the actress, she's doing an amazing job playing her. Just like
she's definitely the best of the Olsens. She's definitely the best of the Olsens. That's not hard to be,
is it though?
Yeah. All right, so check out Doctor Strange based on Chris's recommendation and look at it through his eyes, because
I thought it was great. I tried to watch Spider-Man again. Yeah. I tried to watch Spider-Man again, dude. I got a half hour in, and I just had to watch like anything else.
I know.
When they were trying to all get into college and they wouldn't get into college because nobody liked them anymore, I got that far and I just was like, oh, I can't do this. I can't do this.
It's just getting a little much.
It's not for my age group at all, buddy.
Yeah.
There's not even enough of it for my age group anymore to keep me entertained. On the other hand, the new Amazing Spider-Man comic book is being drawn by John Romita Jr., who has been around forever. Great 80s comic. He's a classic. His dad was iconic with Spider-Man, and it's the new storyline's great. I just read it last night, the first 4 issues, and oh my god, it's so good. It's a lot more adult.
You bought them and read them, or you
I've had them. Like I usually wait till I have a few issues together and then I read them, so I'm not reading one and going, oh my god, what happens next? I like to know. So I'll get like 5, plus I get busy, you know what I mean? So I read 5 of them last night and got caught up there, which was really good.
You've been binging. Do the boys do that? Watch Doctor Strange? Look at that shit. Did you get any time to watch that hockey there?
No, I predicted it was going to happen. I didn't need to watch it, did I?
Yeah, there we go. Let's look at this for our Toronto Maple Leaf fans out there.
It's going to be Nazem Kadri who comes back from the broken thumb for the biggest goal of his life and now the biggest moment of his hockey career.
Chris, just the 9th player in all the history of the NHL to score an overtime winner in his first Stanley Cup final game. No bigger goal and no better moment for Nazem Kadri.
Wow, that was awesome. The feels. Attaboy, Naz. And he just sold his condo. He's not coming back.
Well, and not to mention his post show. I don't know if you caught the post show, but post show, he was like, anyone who doesn't think that or anyone who thinks that I'm a liability in the playoffs can kiss my ass. He said that. It was great. So it was kind of like, because they were like, what do you think of the people of Toronto? What do you say to the people of Toronto that have supported your journey and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah.
Who are they? He says.
Well,
you mean Chris, right? Chris Machete. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that guy's great.
Man, what a team. Holy shit.
Yep. Maybe the Leafs will get that goalie next year, huh?
I don't know.
There's lots of rooms. They just signed Liljegren. Yeah, they just signed Liljegren.
Yeah, and they're gonna. I heard they're talking about Gibson from Anaheim, but I'm not sure that's.
Fix. Yeah.
I'm not sure that's the fix. But when you look at that Colorado team, and listen, in Tampa, I mean,
well, Tampa was tough, man. Absolutely.
That was overtime. I mean, that was 2-1 in Game 6. That could have, if they would have won that overtime game instead of Colorado, we'd still be playing.
Right.
So it's really just nickels and dimes, really, that got them. But anyways, that Colorado team. I mean, McKinnon, really good, Nathan McKinnon, what a goddamn.
Yeah, it was good to see him get the cup as well, huh?
There's a lot of stories on that team.
Mm-hmm.
Cogliano, who's played forever and then came in, and Makar, and Bowen Byram, who's a defenseman on that team. He played for the Vancouver Giants.
Nice.
Just up the street from my house for like 4 years, and got to see him play in an arena full of like 2,000 people, a bunch of times, and he wins the cup.
Yeah, good for him.
And McKinnon and those guys are like, you rookies just getting in here and winning it for the first time. We've been going after. That's the thing that just cracks me up. These guys that win it in their first year. Corey Perry, 3 years in a row on the Stanley Cup final, and he doesn't take it home. I mean, I got to think that's it for me. Well, the joke going around afterwards is that Corey Perry signs with the Avalanche. You know what I mean?
Man, yeah, I know, right? He's like 1 year behind every time. That's
think about all the teams in the playoffs and how they did. Despite the fact that Edmonton got out and Calgary got out, I mean, people are saying, Calgary could win it all next year. They're that close. So it's very interesting, going into next season, what's going to go on. It's funny. No one's predicting Toronto to win the cup next year.
No.
It's so weird. That team is so close.
Yeah. You know what, dude? I don't think that Harry Potter there, what's his name? Dubas is the guy.
Well, he's got Shanahan. Shanahan must be consulting. So it's got to be the whole thing.
Shanahan's got his hands full with a lot of other stuff.
But he's not going to, I don't think Shanahan's going to let him, he's going to be like, okay, kid, do what you got to do. But I got to think that there's final stamp in some capacity. He can't just blow the team up without Shanahan's approval.
No. I'm not suggesting blow the team up at all. But I'm saying, okay, you take Hull and take Nylander and obviously the backup goalie there, just give him away. But you take Hull and get a Nylander and get something. Get a mean defenseman. Get that piece. You know what I mean? There's lots of pieces that are needed, that are variables that you need for that playoffs. You need a really good goalie.
Yeah.
Or you need a team that can supplement a good goalie. You either get the amazing goalie in a team and a defense that isn't that great, or you get a solid goalie and you get the defense in front of them. So Nylander and Hull, I would think would fetch something. I think
we're going to find out in a couple of days.
I think they would fetch something good.
Free agency kicks off in a couple of days.
Yeah.
The draft is coming up in a couple of days. So, I think we're going to get some answers here pretty soon.
Yeah. Well, see, if they turn around and get somebody like PK Subban, I'm going to be so disappointed, man. It's even if they get him for a big deal, I think the experimentation of getting an older guy in there, okay, that's Spezza was great, but that's it. Let's get a young fourth line in there, man. Let's start getting some guys in there who have the desire to prove themselves.
Yeah, they got some feel good guys between Thornton and Spezza and those guys, but
that's enough. And that was great, but let's move on, guys. Let's start getting the younglings up there and getting them enough games so they get confidence, so they can start to light the fires to everybody else. They don't need Matthews can lead the team now. They got Tavares, he can lead the team. Marner should be able to help lead the team. Geez, what do they got on defense there? They got Riley. They got they got Giordano now. They don't need any elders. Spezza was great though. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to get the youth up there a bit. And as I said, you got to get rid of Nylander. You have to. There's nobody else that anybody's going to want any.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting offseason for all the teams. All teams.
I wonder too is what kind of relationship does Dubas have with everybody else? They think he's a dick, or do they like working with him? Because that's come into play when teams. like that fucking bad.
Well, when you listen
some teams
to
just don't deal with each other.
I love these stories like of Sakic right now, and I know you love Joe Sakic, but like
one of my favorite all-time players.
Yeah, absolutely. So listening to the players talk about him, like I don't listen to Spit and Chicklets very much, the podcast, but every now and again they got some guys on that I just like to listen to, like hockey players, and they're all talking about Sakic was like, Eric Johnson, the kid that they, he was almost ready to retire. He was like, injuries, blah blah blah, and Sakic called him and was like, "If you got anything left, I need you."
Yeah,
and he was ready to retire, and then he signed. And then he won a cup. And there's guys that are like talking about how Sakic was like, just all, has such a great relationship with all these guys. And he would, he would. So I think there's a lot to do with that because there's the GMs that don't do anything. And then I think there's the other side of the guys will go to war for them. And yeah, it's very interesting. So anyways, congrats to the Avs, congrats to Kadri, and there you go. So, all right, well, we're at 46. We'll get out.
That's good. 15 minutes to get out of the house for a minute, and then I can come back and get back to work.
That's right. Get back to work on issue number 4 of this.
Yeah, I'm just finishing off something in the other room there. I think I get the computer room now. Lonnie's finishing up. I'm doing the cover for issue 4.
Wicked.
I'm just coloring it. I think I have it right here. Jeez, I don't know how to work anything in here. Nope. I don't know what she did with it.
Guys, make sure you follow Machete Comics, Chris Machete on all the places that you find him. You'll find his guitar lessons, like our go on YouTube. Go on YouTube. And Rashid Rohan, thanks for listening and watching and taking guitar lessons from Chris. Very cool.
Yeah, buddy.
Anyone looking to get guitar lessons? This guy right here. Do it online.
Go to YouTube and do it. Don't call me.
Don't call him, but he's got some great stuff up for the basics of basics people like
free stuff online, my friends. But if you do want a commission,
there you go.
Going at some point here once I get some spare time. That's Machete Comics. Hit up Machete Comics. You can buy lots of the artwork, my friends.
We're getting close to the end of the season, and that is going to entail. It came from the basement, and so we.
I'm all ready. Did you see that post I put up, buddy? I am ready.
We're going to have ourselves a jolly good time. I get home July the 17th. And then I think, we could probably look at wrapping it that following week. And that's going to be, it came from the basement. So I'm thinking we're going to be probably about a couple of weeks away from that. We got a few more things to cover off. There's more boys to talk about and the show. And, and then there's, we're going to try to get some guests on. We got some people we haven't had in a little while. I talked to Chris from Hate Breed, and he's ready to come on. And
cool. Our
old friend Cone is looking at making an appearance here pretty soon. As soon as he gets
office. Fun to talk to rock stars about toys and movies and pop culture.
Okay, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I am Brent from the Brent on Tour podcast. Tune in weekly. You can check us. That's Chris Machete over there. We are the Kids on the Escalator podcast. Thanks to our friends at DeanBluntDale.com for hosting us and having us in all the things. Check them out in about 45 minutes because they're going to play their day. Talking to Doug Gilmore and Joe Carter and everybody today. They had a big day out at the golf course. So awesome. Check that out. That's going to be a good one. So thanks, everybody. Good times.
Red dudes.
All right. Thanks, man.
Cheers.